Hey guys, Brandon from Fathom Offshore and
Andy with Fathom Offshore.
Just want to do a quick video today discussing how to size up your skirts to your lure head. So we will, kind of want to lay a few out for you from small to extra large, kind of go through how we select the sizes to go on the lure heads. And I'll start by saying it's a lot easier if you take your physical head into a tackle shop that has our skirts in there. If you're not doing that, it's pretty simple also to go to our webpage and go to our skirts, and we'll have a link inside the skirts where you can look at the different sizes and be able to pick from there. So Andy, why don't you start by just showing us kind of how we pick our sizes for the heads?
Yeah, so a lot of the time when people call in and they're re-skirting lures, they start with saying, oh, I need something that's in the 12-inch range, or I got a 9-inch lure or a 12-inch lure, and that always creates some issues because length is variable on a skirt. So you have some people that take a marlin lure and they may go ahead and cut it here. That's just their personal preference. You have other people that are going to leave their skirts a lot longer. So, length is always one of those things where they say, oh, it's a 12-inch lure. That kind of throws us off.
Really don't matter.
Not so much. It's really the diameter of the head. So that's the big thing you need to look at. So if you're kind of in that small category, like this guy here, so you basically on these lures you have a couple different saddles. You have your inner skirt saddle and you have your outer skirt saddle. So typically you're going to go ahead and line these guys up, and you're really looking for something that's got really good consistency as far as the diameter is concerned.
Right.
And so this is an OC22. We kind of work up into the OC27s, 30s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. But there is some variation between, you can't just throw a blanket statement out and say, oh, all mediums take an OC30.
Right. Well, and that's like the 27 is kind of a weird size where it's just a little bit bigger than 22, a little bit smaller than the 30, and we put a medium with that. It fits perfectly. It's nice and tight. And if you're looking at our size diagram on our webpage, we'll have a dimension that says inner diameter. And that is the actual inside diameter of the skirt. So if you took the inside diameter of the skirt and the diameter of the outside skirt saddle, they should match up, or at least pretty close.
Yeah, picture it almost like a tube. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if it wasn't cut.
tube.
So if you have something that's an inch in diameter, look for the 1-inch ID, and that's typically a pretty good fit.
Yeah, and if you watched our earlier video on how to re-skirt lures, we talked a little bit about stretching them and using like the furniture polish. So you could take a slightly bigger lure and still use that skirt, or a slightly smaller and still use it. But the key would be adding a little bit of heat so you can stretch it if you need to. But the main thing is we want a nice tight fit. You don't want this to be real bulgy. You want it to be nice and tight so it doesn't affect the swimming action of the lure.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
You go to this is still a large category lure, this Pepple Grande, and it takes an OC60 skirt and it still looks perfect. So you can't just go by, well, all larges use this size or extra larges only use this. So definitely do some measuring, measure your skirt saddles and look at our inside diameter on the skirts. I think that will help. And talk to us a little bit about like combos and what to pick for inside and outside skirts.
Yeah, so we've always kind of had one of those thought process where it was either match the hatch or something that was typically heavy in contrast. So if we have a really dark outer skirt, we typically will sometimes have a really light inner skirt. And that kind of varies across the full gamut there. But also on our inners, one thing I like to do is I always put thinner inner skirts on the inside so that I'm not going to have to fight with that bulging issue.
Right.
And so typically the more stuff you see on a skirt, for example, flecks and fades and belly colors, back colors, you're typically going to start to thicken up the skirt just because there's more process to that. Yeah, more plastic that kind of goes along to it. So solid inners are always a lot easier to kind of skirt, and good for guys just kind of getting into it. So
yeah, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to hit us up. You can call us at the office or shoot us a message. But we definitely would love to help you with any of the skirts that you're trying to pick out. We'll try to help you with some skirt combos, and check out our skirting video too. That's very helpful on how to actually re-skirt it yourself. So
that's right.
Really appreciate you guys coming in and checking us out today. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it.